Imagine you wake up one morning and an email quietly kills a billion-dollar export market. Not because your steel is weak.
From the 1st of January 2026, the European Union will put a price on the carbon hidden inside your steel, your cement, your...
Europe calls it the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. In simple terms, if you want to sell certain carbon-heavy products into the... For years, the EU has made its own industries pay for emissions through a carbon market. If you pollute, as Europe tightened its rules, some production simply moved abroad, to places with cheaper energy and weaker climate laws. Emissions didn't disappear.
CBAM is Europe's answer. A carbon charge at the border on iron and steel, cement, aluminium, fertilizer.
For an Indian steel producer relying on coal-based blast furnaces, this is bad news. Their steel carries more.
In the importer's spreadsheet, the price of steel is no longer just the sticker price. It is base price plus carbon cost.
European buyers begin to hesitate. If they keep buying high-carbon steel, they will absorb the CBAM charge themselves or pass it on to customers. So exporters look for new customers. If Europe becomes a climate-strict club with a carbon wall, perhaps the safer ships that once sailed to Rotterdam now head for other ports. Steel once meant for European car factories But there is a catch. Other major economies are watching closely. The United Kingdom is preparing its own border carbon tax.
The phased plan is clear. First, a reporting period to measure emissions. Then, from 2026,
CBAM launches a new kind of race, not for cheaper labor or looser rules, but for lower emissions per ton of output. Some companies respond by reinventing themselves. They explore electric arc furnaces that melt scrap steel using cleanness. Suddenly, measuring emissions is no longer just a sustainability report. It becomes the basis of your tax bill. Two mills can sell the same ton of steel at the same base price. Under CBAM, the dirtier one becomes more expensive at the border because it carries a larger carbon surcharge. For countries that cannot quickly afford cleaner technology, there is a darker scenario. High carbon product. From the planet's perspective, this changes little. The atmosphere does not care where a ton of CO2 comes from. It only cares whether that ton exists at all.
But CBAM is more than a tax. It is also a message. The EU says, if your country already prices carbon, we will...
This forces a choice for governments. Either let Brussels collect the carbon revenue at the border, or design a domestic carbon plate.
Step by step, trade policy begins to shape domestic climate policy. Not through speeches, but through invoices.
For companies, the menu is brutally simple. Option 1, pay the CBAM costs and hope profits survive.
None of these paths are painless.
Each choice creates winners and losers among shareholders, workers, and entire regions that depend on heavy industry. So who really pays for carbon? The worker whose plant shuts down? The consumer who pays more for a car or a bag of cement? From the start of 2026, those questions turn into actual bills. CBAM takes the invisible cost of emissions. If it works, CBAM could push global industry towards cleaner technologies. Green steel and low-carbon cement may... If it fails, CBAM may simply push emissions to softer borders.
For some, CBAM is climate justice.
Making polluters finally pay for the damage of their emissions.
For others, it is green protectionism.
From Brussels' perspective, CBAM is a way to stop exporting jobs while importing pollution. It aligns trade.
But beyond the legal details, CBAM exposes a deeper tension. When every ton of carbon... In the next decade, rules like CBAM could decide where factories are built, which countries dominate green technologies, and yet most of the people who will feel the effects of CBAM never sat at the negotiation table. For them, CBAM is Europol's answer to a hard question. How do you cut emissions without simply exporting them? The bigger question is ours. If you found this breakdown useful, tell me what you think in the comments. Is CBAM climate justice or green protectionism?